Hey guys, I hope you had a great week. This is going to be our last video for the for the March unit. I sent out a sheet with materials for March and April, and on that sheet you are also able to see, I'm going to pull this up here, the activities for March. These are what I sent out to do. I'm going to show you them on my computer in just a minute here, but there's a card that says I miss you. I would like you to write that and mail it or just give it to a family member or a friend. But I'd really like you to work on practicing finding an address and addressing an envelope. We'll look at the work attitudes scenarios together. We'll also look, we already looked at good manners and bad manners in one of our lessons. We looked at the scenarios, and I've talked to a few of you and practiced those. The making and answering call checklist is something we've kind of talked through together when we have phone calls or when we're doing our video calls together. And the last thing we'll look at today is that problem solving game that I sent you. And I would love it if your family would play it together. If not, I would be happy to play with you over video. And then our April unit has a few printouts to go with the unique learning system activities that you can do on your iPad. I will show you each of these in the video lessons as I do them, so you know which activities go with which lessons. All right, I'm going to switch you over so we can do, if I can figure it out here, I'm going to switch you over so we can do our lesson for today. Here we go. All right, today our lesson is being safe with your phone. Our whole unit in March was using phones for communication, which is the perfect thing to talk about now, especially because we're relying on technology to keep us in touch. So as we read, I want you to think about one or two things you can do to be responsible and safe with your cell phone. We talk a lot about rights and responsibilities. As an adult, you do have the right to have a cell phone, but you have to be responsible for it. And there's a lot that goes along with it. As we read, we'll listen and learn. Having a phone is a big responsibility. Remember to be smart and stay safe while using a cell phone. Things you can do to keep safe are to keep your cell phone in a safe place, like your purse, your backpack, or your pocket. Keep your cell phone charged. Let's see, do I have battery? I do. What happens when your battery runs out? Your phone's no good. It's not going to help you in case of an emergency. So you have to be responsible to keep it charged. Keep your cell phone locked with a safe and private password. I always have my phone locked. So if you want to get on my phone, it's kind of blurring in here. If you want to get on my phone, you have to type in a passcode to get in. That means that all my pictures, my phone numbers, and the information on my phone is safe if someone does see my phone and pick it up. And last but not least, be aware of your plan's data limits. And I don't know that that's much of an issue anymore because a lot of plans have unlimited data now, but it's important to know what your plan is and you gotta pay that bill. All right. The other things you can do to be safe with your phone. Number one, do not answer calls or texts if you don't recognize the number. If a call pops up on my phone and I don't know who is calling, I don't answer. I let them leave a message and then I check it and I call them back if it's someone I know. So to make sure you don't miss an important call, make sure you add your family and friends to your phone contacts. That way, if they call or text you, their number will pop up right on your phone. You should also check your messages often so you can see if someone you didn't know called and left a message. You can check and see if you should call them back. Phones can be great for taking photos or videos too. It's a great way for you to show me what you've been doing at home. You can take pictures and post them in our Facebook group, but I would only post them in the Pathways Facebook group unless you want to share them with all of your friends, in which case you can post on your own Facebook page. But if we are taking photos and videos, we need to make sure, number one, that we're not sharing photos or videos with people we don't know. So if you have a friend on Facebook, which is a whole nother lesson altogether, you should make sure you know people before you're friends with them. That way, when you're sharing those photos and videos, people you don't know don't see them. You should always, what, before taking a picture of someone else? I know we work on this a lot. You should always ask before you take a picture or record a video of someone else. And you should only post or share a picture or video of someone else if they give you permission to. Some people are okay with having their picture taken, but they don't want it on Facebook. They don't want their video on YouTube. So it's important to be respectful of other people. And then last, only take and share videos or photos that are safe and kind. So don't take a photo or a video and don't share it if it's something that's going to be upsetting or share private personal information. There are a lot of different things that are okay to share, but it's important to be safe and only share photos that you have permission for and photos that don't contain information that's private. If something happens on your phone that makes you feel uncomfortable, like a phone call or a text from someone you don't know, tell an adult you trust about it. Cell phones are very helpful tools. Having a phone is a big responsibility. It is important to be safe when using your phone. We talk a lot about rules and expectations, but we know that those rules are in place to keep us safe. We all have the right, as adults, to have a cell phone, but we have to be responsible to pay for that cell phone, to use the phone responsibly, so making appropriate phone calls, taking appropriate pictures, and to keep track of and take care of our phone. So along with the right of having a phone, there are so many different responsibilities. And when we get into some of the activities that go with this lesson, you can see what some of the responsibilities are. I'm going to go ahead down here and we're going to do a quick safety check. And we'll go through these scenarios together. These are some that you should have gotten in the mail here, but we'll read through them.
Jim is at the local coffee shop by himself. He gets up to use the restroom. He makes his phone on the table so he can still sit there when he comes back.
Okay, so Jim is drinking coffee at the coffee shop and he gets up to go to the bathroom. He left his phone on the table to reserve his spot so people know not to sit there when he comes back. What do you think might be unsafe about that? Yeah, someone could pick up his phone. Someone could steal his phone or look at his information. Hopefully Jim has a password set. Let's read, what could Jim do to be safe with his phone? Could he hide, number one, could he hide the phone under some napkins on the table? 2, could he take his phone to the bathroom with him? Or 3, could he ask the barista to watch his phone while he is in the restroom? You guys remember what a barista is? We just learned about these. That's right, the person making the coffee. All right, what should Jim do? If he hides his phone under napkins on the table, what could happen? Well, the barista could come clear the table, swoop the napkins and plates into a container to take to the kitchen and wash, and throw his phone away on accident. Or another person could sit down at the table and lift up the napkin and say, oh, hey, a phone. Or someone could pick his phone up and look at the information on it. So is hiding his phone under the napkins on the table a good idea or bad idea? Yep, bad idea. Not a safe scenario. The second scenario is taking his phone with him. Jim should take his phone to the restroom with him. He can put his phone in his pocket or tuck it under his arm, but he shouldn't leave his phone on the table. It's not safe there. The last option, asking the barista to watch his phone. Is the barista responsible for Jim's phone? No. Who's responsible for Jim's phone? Jim. Jim needs to be responsible for his phone and keep it with him all the time to make sure it's secure. All right, the next scenario is Libby. Libby hears her phone beep. She looks to see she just got a text message that says, "How are you doing?" Libby does not know the phone number. She texts back, "I am good. How are you?" All right. The first thing I noticed in this scenario is that Libby does not know the phone number that texted her. Remember what we can do with familiar numbers to make sure we recognize them? That's right, we can put them in our phone contacts. So Libby got a message from someone she doesn't know that asked how she was doing, and she texted them back. Is it safe to text someone you don't know or to talk to someone you don't know? Probably not. And in this scenario, I would say the best thing for Libby to do is to find a safe person to talk to about the message before she responds or does anything else. We've talked about having a go-to person, like a staff, a parent, a family member, or a friend that you go to when you're not sure if something is safe. So if you get a message from someone you don't know, should you show that message to your mom or dad or teacher or a safe person? Should you text that person back and say, "Oh, hey, what's your name? My name's Katie." Or Libby said, "What's your name? My name's Libby." Or should you text back, "Leave me alone"? I would say the first one. Show the message to someone that you know that is a safe person and that can help you respond appropriately to it. It might just be someone you know whose number isn't in your phone, but it might be a stranger that's trying to get your information. There are a couple more safety checks here that you can practice with your family, but really quick, I just want to show you the other activities I sent you so you know what they are. I've got the problem-solving game here. I printed out a game board for each of you. And all you need with this is a die and then something to use for game pieces. I would use pennies or beads, anything different color, and you can play with one or two people. If you want to play with me, give me a call and we'll play together. This is the board game. Whoever gets to the end first wins. And the scenario cards, or the problem-solving cards that go with the game, look just like this. So what I'd like you to do is go through these problem-solving cards and talk through each scenario and identify if the problem is an emergency, who can help you with it, and what you'll say or do. The problem-solving cards look like this, and the solving a problem scenario breaks it down into steps. So the first thing you want to do is identify, is this an emergency? And you can do that by answering, is someone hurt? Is someone in serious danger? And does something need to be done right now? If the answers to these three questions are all yes, then it probably is an emergency. Once we decide if it's an emergency, we're going to look at who can help. Is it mom? Is it dad? Or is it truly, I need to call 911 and ask for help? How can you get help? Here we go. Here are options for people who can help you. I believe I sent these with you as well, and you can cut these out and use them as you're going through the different scenarios. And then, how can you get help? It's going to show you can call, text, or ask for help in person. And then last but not least, there's a script. I find with phone calls, I can get very anxious about making a call to someone, but knowing or planning ahead of time what I'm going to say helps a lot. I really like this. So you can say, I need help. I am at Pathways to Life, 2801 South Kiwanis Avenue in Sioux Falls. The help is for someone fell and broke their leg. I don't know. I'm just pretending. The problem is somebody fell and broke their leg. What will you do? And then your options here to stay with the person, move to a safe area, or go get help if it's an emergency. But this problem solving sheet is really to help you identify if it's truly an emergency. And if it's not, who are you going to ask for help? Where a lot of us are working on asking for help. I need help sometimes. I ask for help all the time. And it's perfectly okay. And part of being an adult is being okay with asking for help. So this is a good opportunity to practice those skills in a controlled setting so that if something does happen in real life, you're prepared to deal with it. On the other activities that I had sent, the other activities I sent, I believe we've already looked at: the good manners and bad manners, the scenario cards, the making a call checklist, and the other scenarios are related to work. And I'll pull this up here. Work attitudes. I sent each of you a work attitudes lesson as well. And these would be fun to read through or role play with your family. Remember, we do these in class as a play. So I could be Nancy and I could have my daughter be Jen and read through the scenario together. But that's what I'd like you to do at home too, is read through these scenarios together or practice them together. And practice again, identifying the problem, identifying who can help you, and how they can help you. So problem solving is a really good skill to have as an adult, and it's something that a lot of us need help with, and it's always, always, always okay to ask for help. And that is all I have for today. Next week, we're gonna start our April units. I'm losing track of time. We're gonna start our April unit where we're talking specifically about employment. So I look forward to seeing you again. And remember, we've got our Pathways Zoom every Tuesday and Thursday at 1:30. If you need the link, please email me and I'll send it out. Thanks a lot. Bye.